Hello there and welcome back to another episode of our Luminar NEO Academy, the show where we help you to get the most out of this photo editing application. Now, if you've never been here before, my name is Jakub and I'm a creator and founder here at Clever Photographer. Now, before we going to start, I have a few things I want to cover. First of all, at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you access to our popular Luminar NEO shortcut cheat sheet, so you make sure that you stay until the end. Also, if you don't own Luminar NEO or the HDR Merge plugin, get our discount code to get the best possible price, and you can find it in the description of this video. Finally, I would like to ask you to please like, comment and share on this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can keep creating content like this. In this tutorial, I will show you how to colorize and enhance your own black and white photos in Luminar NEO. Since Luminar NEO has a limited options for adding colors to images, we will start by getting a free help from another AI tool. But don't worry, you will not need to purchase or install another tool. All you're going to need is an internet connection. As always, I will guide you through the entire process step by step, so if you want to join me and work on the same image, make sure that you follow the link in the description of this video and download the sample file before we going to start. Now, before we going to start, I want to quickly mention that today's tutorial is powered by our Clever Photographer Plus membership. This membership offers monthly theme bundles with over 200 new monthly assets. Each bundle includes presets, overlays, textures, LUTs, backgrounds, and much more, all compatible with Luminar NEO. In addition, you will also get access to our Clever Photographer Academy and weekly photography review shows. To get the best possible price and find out more about this, make sure that you follow the link in the description of this video. So now you should have your sample file ready and we can start. The first thing we need to do is to add some color into our image. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we're gonna use a little help from another AI tool. So to use this colorizing tool, you need to go ahead and open your internet browser. I'm using a Chrome, and all you need to do is to enter palette.fm. I will zoom in and I will also share the link in the description of the video to make sure that you can access it. Once you enter it in, you should end up on a page like this. Once you're here, click on Upload Image. After that, navigate towards the location of the sample files, open the original photo folder and select the image. Only thing you need to do now is just to click on Open. The application will first scan the image to recognize what is on it, and then it will prepare the base palette. The base palette is just a starting point that helps the application to recognize the different parts of the image. As you can see, the skin, the eyes, the lips, the hair, the jumper, and the background. And this is really important for us because what we're looking for here is the color. We want to bring the color from here, which we can then add into our image in Luminar NEO. Now, the base palette isn't perfect, so let's go ahead and try one of the presets available in the application. All you need to do is to click on it, so let's start with the lavender dusk, and the application will automatically scan the image again and prepare this look. Once it's finished, it will show, and as you can see, it's looking quite nice. It's a little bit cooler. Now there is a little bit of a red kind of fading into the teeth. However, the skin tones are nice, the hair is nice, so it's kind of halfway there. Now, if you want, you can always go back to base palette, or you can try another preset. Now, looking at it, you can see that rendering the preset takes a little bit of time. So the easier way to do this is to simply click on all the presets and they will automatically start to download. So let's just go through the list and make sure that we have all the presets selected, and then we can just review them all at the same time. Once all the presets are rendered, we can go back to the list and start by going through it. Lavender dusk we already seen, and just remember that we had a quite nice skin tones on this one. Colorful memories are quite nice, still nice skin tones and a little bit of yellow in the jumper. And now just quickly going through it and see what we would like. Royal Vibes giving us a nice skin tones. And just quickly, pink jumper, I think I prefer the yellow. Again, little cooler version. Then we have the Bright Studio, which warm everything. Matte Ruby, cinematic shades. I really like the yellow of the jumper on this one, so let's remember it. Cinematic shades. Radiant Rainbow, also quite nice. The Playful Pop gives us a nice skin tones, but I don't like the hair. Faded Elegance, well, the Faded Elegance actually gives us really nice hair and really nice skin tones. And moving on, just quickly running through the rest, I think that the winners for me are the Faded Elegance for the skin tones and hair, and Cinematic Shades for the jumper. So we're gonna use 2 of these presets. Now the next thing we wanna do is we wanna download them. So let's select the cinematic shades again and go under the image and click on download. Now looking at it, you can also download HD version, but you would have to pay for this. And for our purpose, we are really happy just to use the small size image. And why, I'm gonna explain you in a moment. So click on download on this one, and then we say Faded Elegance for the skin tones. So click on it and again click on download. Once we have both of these downloaded, we are finished here, we can close the browser and we can come back to Luminar NEO. Now as you can see, I'm in Luminar NEO, I have the original image, I have the image where we're gonna use the skin tones, and I have the image with the yellow jumper colors. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna select the black and white original image and move it into Edit module. Don't forget that to do that, you can click on Edit on the top of the screen or use E on your keyboard. Now we're gonna bring the colors in. So to start, we're gonna go into our Layers panel, click on the plus sign and click on Load Image. With this, navigate towards your sample files or the location where you downloaded your new colored pictures, open them, and let's load both of the images in. So I have the one with the skin color, I select it and click on open. And after that, again, I click on load image, select the one with the yellow jumper and click on open. Now I have both of the images here. So let's start by adding the skin tones. I just click on it, select it, and it will be added into my image. It automatically stretches across the image, so it's nicely in line with our original photo. And now I can jump into the layer properties, increase the opacity to 100. And the next thing you need to do is to select the blend mode drop-down box and change it from normal into the color. So by doing that, now you will understand what we're doing. We're only using the color from the small resolution image. So we don't really worry about the details, we're just using the color. And this is possible by changing the blending mode from normal into the color. Now let's do the same for the image with the color for the jumper. So let's go back into our layers, click on the plus sign and select the second image. Again, it's added on the top of all our layers here, and we need to go into the layer properties, increase the opacity to 100 and change it again from normal into the color. So now we have all the layers here and we can continue. As you can see, we have our original image. Then we have the layer we're going to use to add the color into our hair, eyes, lips, and skin. And then the layer we're going to use to add the color to our jumper. So let's hide the jumper layer for the time being. And you can do that by right-clicking on the layer and selecting Hide Layer. And now let's select the layer with the skin. To make sure that it's selected, you can see it has a blue frame in our layers panel, as well as blue frame on our main image. Now to be able to use this layer just for the color and only at the parts we want, we're gonna use masking. So let's go into our layer properties and click on masking. To speed up the process, we first gonna use the power of Mask AI. So click on it there, it will scan the image and gives us an option of what we want to select. In our case, we want to select the human, So let's click on that and see how good job it's going to do. It did pretty decent job for what we need. So let's click on back and see where we are. If we would want to make any adjustments to the mask, the easiest way to do this is a brush. So let's go ahead, let's click on Mask Actions, let's click on Show, and looking at it, you can see that we need to remove a little bit of the mask here and also at this part. Let's just hide the mask, and as you can see, we have the nice black and white background. However, at this part is blue here and here as well. So let's adjust it. So let's go into the brush. Once again, make sure that our mask is visible. And now we're gonna zoom in and we can use the spacebar to move around. After this, we can adjust the size of our brush, also adjust the softness, which I usually set around 20, and leave the strength on 100. Now we are removing the mask, so we need to make sure that we are on erase. So let's select the erase, make the brush a little bit smaller, and let's just brush away the parts we don't want. So in our case, right here. There you have it. Let's go and zoom out, and let's just remove the mask. That's quite good. And now this part as well. So let's go back again, zoom in, use the spacebar to navigate around, and just very carefully paint away this part and also this part. Now, when you're gonna do it on your own computer, go ahead and take as much time as you need. However, I think for this example, we're just gonna run through this, as I'm sure that you know what I'm trying to show you. So let's just remove this part here. And I think that's that done. Again, let's zoom out, hide the mask, and I think it's much better. Now looking at it, you can also see that we have added some red color on the teeth here. So let's just zoom in and take care of that, making sure still that we are on erase and maybe adjusting the softness a little bit. And let's just paint over the area of the teeth. And that way that will be taken care of from here too. Something like this, I think. Let's zoom out and it's much better. So that's the hair, the skin, lips, and eyes. So now it's time to add the color into the jumper. So for this, let's unhide our layer with the jumper. So right click on it and select Show Layer. And once you do that, you can see that the layer doesn't only colorize the jumper, but everything else. So we're gonna use the same method. We're gonna use the masking to basically make sure that the color from this layer is only on the jumper. So let's make sure that we have the layer with the jumper color selected. And then again, going into layer properties, into the masking. And this time we can't use the masking AI. So we're gonna go straight into the brush. In the brush, make sure that you on paint. Adjust the size of your brush, whatever you're comfortable with. Adjust the softness. I think somewhere around 30 is good. And keep the strength on 100. Now make one brush stroke over the jumper, and by doing that, all the colors will disappear and they will only appear on the places where you're going to brush. So let's zoom in, and again, I'm gonna do this quite quickly. However, if you want, when you're doing this edit on your own computer, please go ahead and take your time. Before I'm going to speed up the process, I want to show you a few things. First, remember to use your spacebar to move around your screen. Also, don't forget that when you click once and then you hold your Shift on your keyboard and click again, it will create a straight line between two of those brush strokes. And finally, don't forget to use X on your keyboard to swap between the paint and erase if you need to remove certain part of your mask. So there you have it. I'm done with the brushing. Now it's not perfect, however it's good enough for this tutorial to give you an idea on what you're supposed to do. Now, as I told you on the beginning, the first thing we're gonna do is to add color into our image. So we have done that. Now we need to merge it all together so we can continue. For this, we need to export the image in the highest possible quality and take it from there. So let's just close the layer properties. Now right-click on the image and select Export. Here, adjust the name, so let's call it Mid Edit, and then set up the format, change it to TIFF, 300 pixels on inch, no compression, 16 bits, uncheck the Save Transparency, and just make sure that your resize, sharpen, and color space looks like this. Once you finish, click on Save. Luminar NEO will now merge the layers, export it, and then we're gonna take it from there. So now we have our new image here. We can just select it and move it back to the Edit module. In the Edit module, looking at the Layers panel, you can see that it's one single image, and now the rest of the edit is very much a part of creative process, and what you're gonna do with the image is your own artistic decision. You have a full power of all the creative tools here in Luminar NEO, so make sure that you use it and have some fun with it. Well, first come first, I would go into the Erase tool and use the Remove Dust Spots to remove all the different debris, dust, and spots from our image. If you need to edit it further, let's just click on Select, adjust the size of our brush, and clean it a little bit more. Anything you see you want to remove, you can go ahead and select it. And once you're happy, just click on Erase. Again, it only takes a few seconds and it removes it. Now we close the Erase tool and go to the bottom of our main toolbar and continue in the Portrait section. Let's start with the Face AI. Make sure that we have everything nice and visible. And let's start by adding a little bit more light into our face. Moving into the eyes, to make them a little sharper, we can actually swap them. Let's start by clicking on a drop-down box. And let's try blue, which I think doesn't really match. Brown. Brown is a little bit better. I quite like brown. And what about gray? Gray is looking great. So let's keep it on gray. After that, a little bit of iris flare always goes a long way. We can even whiten the eyes a little bit. We can enhance them with the eye enhancer. And if we want, we can also move into the mouth section, where we can add a little bit of lips saturation, we can make them a little bit more red, and darken them a little bit as well. If we want, we can also use the teeth whitening to just whiten the teeth a little bit more. So that's for the face. Let's close all of this and continue. Now we're gonna move into the Skin AI. In the Skin AI, let's just make the skin a little bit softer. This way, we're not only removing the actual skin texture, but also anything that came with the original photo. We can also remove a little bit of the shine if we want to. Not completely, so we don't lose all the texture and light, but I think just somewhere around 40 is good. Again, let's have a look at the before, after, and I think it's looking great. So that's the skin. Now, nothing else from the portrait section here. We can go into the professional section and just very quickly use the super contrast to add some contrast to the overall image. With the super contrast tool, you can actually add contrast to the specific areas of the image, like highlights, midtones, and shadows. Let's start by increasing the midtone slider, which will bring us a little bit more contrast and color into the jumper and the skin tones here. And we can also use a little bit of contrast in the highlights areas. Finally, at the end, let's go back to the top where we're gonna use the vignette tool, select it, and then use the amount slider to bring it down to add a little bit of vignette to the overall image. Once you finish, you can close this, and I think that we are done. And there you have it. If you want a copy of our popular Luminar NEO shortcut cheat sheet, there is nothing easier than heading to our website cleverphotographer.com/LuminarGive. While you're there, you can also check out one of our popular Luminar NEO products, or you can stay here and watch more videos about Luminar NEO. For today, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure that you like, comment, and share on this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can keep creating content like this. For today, thank you very much for watching. My name was Jakub, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.